And a look at the starting lineups for rookie coach Matt Gukas and the 76ers. Bobby Jones and Charles Barkley at forwards, Moses Malone in the center, and Julius Erving and Maurice Cheeks taking up duties in the backcourt. There's a good look at that. Of course, you can be happy when you're in second place in your division, although they would like to be chasing the Boston Celtics a little bit closer. And for head coach Dick Motta and the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Aguirre, Sam Perkins, James Donaldson, Derek Harper, and Rolando Blackman will be the starting lineup. Blackman and Perkins are the only two Mavericks who have started in every ball game this season. Good look at Dick and a check of the officials for tonight's ball game. On the left is Jess Kersey, and on the right, that's Ed Middleton. And I thought the wet look was out, Bill.
Obviously not with the referees.
Now, what do you think the Mavericks need to do to try and break out of this slump, Bill?
Well, they're going to have to pound the boards, because if the Sixers can get a lot of offensive rebounds, they're impossible to beat.
Now, you're in that 5-game losing streak. You can see what the Mavericks have done in relationship to their opponents. You can see their shooting percentage is down. Obviously, their defense leaves a little to be desired, giving up 115 points on 52.5% field goal average for the opposition, and they've also been out-rebounded. So they are definitely not playing the way Dick Motta would like them to perform. They've brought Derek Harper into the starting lineup.
Well, Rick, they're going to have to, as I said, do a better job on the boards, and they're going to have to play defense for the full 24 seconds. Make the Sixers get into the half-court game and then play the full 24-second defense.
One of the things they've also been doing is, you see the stats between these two teams for this particular season, not between them, for this season, is that they have been in the games, the Mavericks, and then when they get down to the stretch, they have not been executing well. Now, that makes it tough because the rookies have not been playing a lot, and they're on the bench, and Dick has been going with his veteran players, and so he really doesn't have a lot to go to when you come down to crunch time, and perhaps the players are running out of little gas, and it's caused a lot of difficulty for them. And, of course, it's been telling against the good teams, because that's the ones they've had difficulty winning against. Their record...
well, the referee just made a turnover.
The record is 9-19, Bill, against the teams with 500 record.
Well, what you got to do to win in this league consistently is beat the teams that are under 500 and play even with the guys that are over.
And the Mavericks have been able to beat the under 500, but have not done well with above 500, as maybe Rolando Blackman is going to come out of that shooting slump he's been in as he hits the first two of the game.
You know, earlier I talked about Moses' injury. He had a thumb injury, and it made him lose confidence in his shot. And that made him have to struggle to get his points. He seems to have it back now, though.
Yeah, but I think you would rather see him inside rather than shooting that outside jumper.
Well, when he's hitting that shot, though, Rick, that opens it up when he gets inside. He can do in and out, as long as he doesn't go any further out than that. But yes, I'd rather see him post up.
Inside of 10 on the shot clock for the Mavericks. Donaldson. First two for James as he returns the favor to Moses. Barkley doing what he does so well.
Now the Mavericks cannot let him hit the offensive boards the way he's doing and the way he's been doing in the past game. They're going to beat these guys, because that's part of his game, is that he can be effective without the ball if he can let him hit the offensive boards.
Excellent move inside by Aguirre. That's where you'll find him a majority of the time, leading scorer for Dallas for so many years. He is bothered also by a finger injury. Barkley, three-pointer. And Blackman tracks it down. You see Aguirre, you can take a look at the way his hands are taped up. Blackman, 2 for 2.
I think that's going to be an interesting matchup, Rick. Julius Erving is guarding Rolando Blackman, and Julius is still a neophyte guard. See if he can return the favor by making Blackman play defensive forward.
With 6 on the shot clock, Julius comes up a little short. That's Derek Harper against Cheeks. And Mark Aguirre not seeming to be bothered by all that taping on his hands. He also has 4 points. And Dallas has not missed a field goal. And it's a timeout for the 76ers as Matt Gukas has seen his team. Well, it's a 20-second timeout, we're told, by Matt Gukas. 5 for 5 from the field for Dallas. 76ers have only 4 points.
I think you can rest assured that what Matt Gukas is talking to the 76ers about is adjusting the defense. It's just a slight adjustment, I think, because what they're doing, they're running some picks, and they either have to let the guy through or switch. And they're not doing either one, and that's why they're getting the wide open shots.
You try and maybe get a shot of Mark Aguirre's hands. Reminds me of what Bernard King went through. Remember how he played so outstandingly well with his fingers all taped together, and that's what Mark looks like right now.
Oh, yeah, you need that sort of badge of courage, Rick. You're playing hurt, sacrificing for the team.
Aguirre off the Jones miss. Blackman to Perkins. 6 for 6 now for the Mavericks, as they lead by 8.
Now, you know, at the end of the game, they're going to be shooting around 500, more or less.
So that means there's going to be a stretch when things aren't going to go too well.
You just wonder what it's going to look like. Or is it going to all come at once, or will it even itself out over the game?
There's the hands, Mark Aguirre. You can see the tape all over the fingers, the back of the hand, the wrist. And Maurice Cheeks
gets much
his
more,
first 2.
Getting much more tape on Aguirre's hand. He looks like King Tut. A real mummy.
Little 2-man game, Perkins and Blackman. Blackman, excellent drive. He'll go to the free throw line.
Now the guys on the Sixers are not talking defensively, because he went by 3 guys that bumped Julius till they finally picked him off. And if you either talk or let the guy through, then they want to get this. Now here comes now Moses' last point of defense, got to be a foul, but they never should let him get that far.
The man who was guarding the man doing the initial screen should have exposed so that Blackman didn't have an opportunity to rub Julius off that first screen.
And if this is a long road trip, the guys probably aren't talking to each other anyway. They're a little tired of each other by this time of year.
Had that ball not gone in, Blackman would have had another shot, because Charles Barkley was in the lane way too early, but since it went in, the officials allowed it. Perkins knocked it away, but Julius is there. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Donaldson made the doctor change it, but Bobby Jones is there. And Barkley finishes it off inside.
Now, that was a smart play by Bobby Jones. Now, Barkley was surrounded by Dallas Mavericks, but he got him the ball. But he's so strong inside. Once he gets in there, he's virtually unstoppable. There's a Philadelphia double team.
Barkley looking for a man to pick up. 7 on the shot clock. 5. Traveling against Blackman, so
good
a little
defense.
pressure works for Philadelphia.
A good defense. They double team and then never get him back to beat the rotation.
And you won't see a lot of turnovers by this Dallas team. They led the league for a couple of years consecutively with the least amount of turnovers. I believe they're now in 2nd position this year. Barkley takes it home on a good pass from Jones again.
Hey, Bobby Jones knows how to get assists. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Charles is the kind of guy you definitely want to throw it to when you see him underneath the basket, because he's going to carry 2 people to the basket if he has to. Aguirre. Tough shot, drifting to his left, had to make an adjustment. He's got 6.
Julius must feel like a pinball on a pinball machine. He's running to a screen or 2 every time he had to play defense.
They try the alley-oop from Barkley to Irving. Good defense. Aguirre to Harper to Blackman. And that is outstanding ball movement. Blackman has 8. And it looks like he's breaking out of that offensive slump, Bill.
And there wasn't one pass in that series that was over 12 feet long.
Of course, a slump for Blackman is 16 a game. A lot of guys would like to have that. Barkley, offensive foul, just used his body weight and his legs and bogarted Mark Aguirre out of the way under the basket. And let's watch that alley-oop play that happened a moment ago and see the good defense this time by Blackman in front of Julius. He takes it off, and we'll watch the play down the other end and watch the good ball movement. Aguirre kicks it to Harper, right back to Blackman, who finishes it off, and Dallas has an 8-point lead.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town. Barneveld said not this small town.
Round here folks will always pitch right in when something gets out of hand.
Just felt we can make it, we can rebuild, we can come back, and we have.
A place where people have a sense of pride. That's what keeps them right here. Where you count on your own, you call it your home, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way, born and brewed in the USA, just as proud as the people who are drinking it today.
Miller contains no additives or preservatives. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Some towns are held together with nails and wood, but this town's held together with a lot of pride and a lot of family.
Miller's made the American way.
You can slam it, you can jam it, you can block it, you can rock it at the hoop. You can run it, you can gun it, you can hook it, alley-oop it at the hoop. The superstation is the way to see the NBA at the hoop. Let's go! Let's go to the hoop. NBA. Let's go to the hoop. Superstation. Let's go to the hoop. NBA. Let's go to the hoop. When you want to see the best, it's WTBS at the hoop.
Well, there's the foreign exchange, as they talk about. On the far left is Bill Wennington. There, Detlef Schrempf there, and the second from the right, and that's Uwe Blop on the far right. And there's not much production out of those three top draft choices.
Hey, Rick, the foreign leaders didn't work for the French either.
Oh, that's awful, Bill. Shot clock is inside of 10. Blackman, one-on-one against Julius. And first shot that Dallas has missed in this ball game. A foul spotted underneath the basket is going to be against Donaldson for climbing the back. So and Dallas now 8 for 9 from the field.
When someone that big climbs the back, Rick, that's a pain.
Philadelphia shooting 50%, but that seems pale in comparison to what Dallas has done so far. You have 6:15 remaining here in the first quarter. Shot clock was down to 10 again for Philadelphia. Barkley finds Cheeks wide open. McGuire with the rebound. 2 of 3 against 3. McGuire to Perkins, and Perkins with a nice move using the right hand.
Good pass by Mark McGuire.
First 2 points inside Perkins. He hit that one jumper. He's got 4. Barkley from 19. Charles Barkley now with 8. It stays at that 8-point Dallas lead, the biggest of the game. Bob McAdoo will be coming in for Philadelphia. Shot clock to 10. There's that two-man game again. 5 on the shot clock. 3-pointer. McGuire can't get it to drop. Barkley is there. 4 against 3 for Philadelphia. McGuire off the Barkley miss. Now it's 4 against 3 the other way. Harper. His first 2.
That was outstanding transition that the Dallas Mavericks performed that last exchange.
Well, they, of course, like to run that setup offense, but they will run, give them the opportunity. Now Irving takes Blackman inside, and this time he's able to capitalize. So Julius Irving with his first 2 points of the game.
And what made that play work for Julius was he got great position. He didn't have to try to post up and make a lot of moves to get shut off.
And Julius lost where the ball was and paid the price. Blackman with a great pass from Derek Harper, and that's why you must keep ball-man relationship playing defense. Blocked by Donaldson was the Irving shot. 4 against 3 again. Julius with great hustle to pull it away. Now it's 4 against 2. Bobby Jones, left arm, offensive foul. Great call by Ed Middleton. Bobby goes to the bench as McAdoo reports in.
James Johnson got that play when he blocked Julius' shot, because now when Bobby Jones goes in penetration, he's aware that this guy can block shots, and that's why he put the other arm out.
Surprisingly, Dallas has 5 breaks and 8 points off of those breaks. Philly 4 breaks and only 2 points. Aguirre, as Barkley went for the steal and paid the price.
He gambled it and lost.
Timeout, Philadelphia. Aguirre now with 8 points. Dallas Mavericks with their biggest lead of the game. They lead by 12 points. We have 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter.
At 110 miles per hour, engineers find the new Honda Accord LXI hatchback to be quiet and comfortable. At half that speed, you could find it to be twice as quiet and comfortable.
A fine wine is a perfect balancing of taste. So is a fine dinner. Le Menu. Each Le Menu has 3 carefully orchestrated foods, like beef sirloin tips in mushroom and wine gravy, seasoned O'Brien potatoes, and broccoli with cheddar cheese sauce. Le Menu frozen dinners from Swanson. So extraordinary, you dare serve them with a vintage wine.
If you didn't care about the picture, you wouldn't take the shot. At least that's how Eckerd Drugs sees it. That's why Eckerd gives you 2 photo guarantees on Ultralab 35 and System 2. Guarantee 1. If you aren't happy with any print, you don't have to pay for it. Guarantee 2. If your prints aren't back when promised, they're free. So if you cared enough to take the shot, take the film to Eckerd. One drugstore is better than the rest. Eckerd.
Rick Barry back with Bill Russell, and at the conclusion of this game, Bill and I will be selecting the Light Beer Most Valuable Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Turner Broadcasting and Light Beer for Miller will be presenting a check for $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name. Dallas still shooting incredibly well, 12 for 14.
Well, Rick, I think the reason for that is they played good half-court defense, and then, as a result, they've had some fast break opportunities. They've taken full advantage of them. That's one thing to keep your field goal percentage way up there.
Julius Erving doing it all by himself, has 4 points now. 3:30 remaining here in the first period. Aguirre over McAdoo. Barkley.
He's an excellent rebounder. He has great timing on the boards. He can jump high, but he has great timing. Charles Barkley, that is.
Moses a little flat on that one. Good position by Aguirre to keep Barkley away. Blackman gets by Julius and makes an excellent move, but can't finish it off. McAdoo loses it, and that's Perkins tracking it down for the Mavericks. Derek Harper really faked cheeks out, but wasn't able to hit the shot.
That was a bad shot. That had side spin rather than back spin.
Julius posting up on Blackman again, now has 6 points. Cuts it to an 8-point deficit for Philadelphia. 2:35 remaining here in the first period. Blackman couldn't get the reverse to drop. Back comes Philadelphia. 3 against 3. Malone on the follow. McAdoo. And Perkins controls. Blackman quickly to Aguirre.
Murray Cheeks went for the steal, then came up empty.
10 for Aguirre and a 10-point lead for Dallas. Inside of 2 minutes remaining, first period, as Sadale Threet waits to come in for Philadelphia.
So far this game, what the Mavericks have done, good play by Julius. What the Mavericks have done, they've stretched the Philadelphia defense and make the guys have to play individual one-on-one defense, and they've come up some pretty good shots out of that.
Malone off that good feed from Julius when he saw the shot was going to be blocked. He found Moses. Moses has 4. Blackman again, one-on-one against Julius, is finding it fairly easy, Bill, to penetrate to the basket. First foul against Julius. He'll be going out, and Sadale Threet replaces him.
Well, Rick, as you know, playing defensive guards is altogether different than playing defensive forward, because at least at the forward, you got the baseline to help you out defensively. When they're going down the middle, they can go either way, and it makes a lot of difference. And like I said, Julius is a neophyte as a guard. It's still a new position for him.
Plus, he's playing a man who has exceptional quickness and likes to go to the basket. As Dallas now sends in their first substitute of the ball game, Jay Vincent coming in, and Sam Perkins went to the bench. It's 11 points now for Rolando Blackman. And a 9-point lead for the Mavericks. And Cheeks made a good back cut, but Sedale Threet didn't read it. Maurice had his man overplaying him and wisely made a back cut to the basket, and Sedale threw it to where Cheeks
used to be.
That's right.
That doesn't make for real good passing.
Shot clock at 10. McGuire had it off the Vincent miss, and I think that time the tape bothered him. 4 against 2. Threet with a good fake.
And he had McAdoo open before he made that shot. I mean, wide open. It's almost like he's basket hanging.
First 2 for Sedale.
Almost.
Now it's a 7-point lead for Dallas. Again, they try to play the 2-man game. Harper travels.
Steps.
No, they're calling
illegal
defense against Philadelphia. Matt Gukas can't understand why.
Called on Sedale Threet.
New 24 seconds for Dallas on the shot clock. And Mark McGuire. McGuire now has 12. So he and Blackman, the 2 leaders of this Dallas offense, are doing it again tonight. Moses draws some traffic. Wide open Barkley. McAdoo found him. Good block by Aguirre.
I don't think Charles Barkley thinks it's a good block.
McMata called out for 1 shot, but what players didn't realize is Mark Aguirre was wide open on the right side and had a layup had they gotten him the ball, so they wind up with that shot. And fortunately, it goes in. 1 second left here in the quarter. And that will take care of the first 12 minutes of action. And the sellout crowd over Union Arena. Standing ovation for the Dallas Mavericks. They lead the 76ers by 11.
Is this the key to your car? If so, consider the...
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
NBA Basketball, America's Game. Brought to you in part by Honda Automobiles.
Well, at the end of that first period, Charles Barkley picked up a technical foul because, if you remember, he went in for that shot underneath the basket. Aguirre came up with what was a good block, and he bounced the ball so hard, it bounced about 15 to 18 feet in the air, and Ed Middleton hit him with a technical. So Dallas will be shooting a technical free throw to start this second period. There's a look at Charles.
Well, what Ed Middleton said to him was, Charles, nice bounce, but when the ball comes down, that's a technical.
And Charles couldn't blow hard enough to keep it up in the air. Let's watch that play again. McAdoo with the good pass inside. Aguirre from behind knocked the ball away. He did hit him on the arm or over the back. You could see Charles voicing his displeasure towards Ed Middleton, and then when he bounced the ball very enthusiastically at the end of the first period, he paid the price.
It was interesting to watch, Rick, because Ed Middleton called a technical. He was at the other end of the court, and Jess Kershaw, who was right next to Barkley when he bounced the ball, had no reaction to it.
Blackman to shoot the technical. There's Ed Middleton, the official who made the call. 12 points now for Blackman. And you can see Philadelphia with 5 turnovers, and Dallas with only 2. And even battle on the boards. Barkley wide open. Watch him.
Yes.
Yes, for Charles.
I think he got himself a little pumped up. What do you think?
Brad Davis into the game for the Mavericks. Dwyer loses it out of bounds. Clement Johnson has come in for Philadelphia. Moses Malone getting a rest.
Delay a game warning against the Mavericks.
And Uwe Blop will be coming in. Rookie out of Indiana. Both teams still running a lot of two-man action in this game. Shot clock inside of 10. And McAdoo continues to be erratic with his shooting, something that he usually does exceptionally well. Averaged only 5 points a game in the last two, and he had averaged 16 a game in the two prior to that. Dwyer draws a little traffic inside. That leaves Vincent wide open from 16.
Rick, if you use a two-man game effectively, that's the best way to expose that illegal defense.
Vincent with 4 points now. Johnson against Donaldson. Last touch by a Maverick. And here comes Blop for Donaldson. Blop had not played in 10 of the last 12 games prior to the last one. Not seeing a lot of action. Three-pointer, three. And Blop tracks it down. Great defense by Sedale Threet. Threet against Davis.
Good penetration. He sure kept his composure there and kept himself on balance while he was moving frontwards and sideways at the same time.
4 points for Threet and a 10-point lead for the Mavericks. Cheeks with excellent defense, and Brad Davis couldn't do anything. Now watch this sneaking in from behind.
That's what we call a blind side, really a blind side.
Good camera work by our crew. We've played 2 minutes almost now here in the second period, and Barkley again gets the offensive foul against Aguirre, and Ed Middleton is keeping an eye on Charles Barkley, Del. And Charles clapping, saying the good call. I tell you, if Ed Middleton had seen that, he could have been in serious trouble.
That's home early, quick shower.
Blackman from Vincent. And Sedale Threet with the foul. Again, they run a little screening action.
Let's take a look at these guys, Barkley and...
Right side of the screen. Keep an eye on Barkley and Aguirre.
Good acting by Aguirre.
Aguirre did a nice job. Charles actually slipped a little bit when he actually backed into Aguirre, and Aguirre took advantage of that move that drew the attention of the official.
Didn't take much either.
Which is true.
And that's one of the things that, for example, now, Matty Gukas takes Charles Barkley out of the game, not only to cool him off, but to get the referee's attention away from him.
Brought Bobby Jones back in. Blackman with 14 points. Perkins also now back in on that last free throw. Bob McAdoo, and that's the type of shooting that we're used to seeing from Bob McAdoo. His first 2 points of the ball game.
And it's one thing about a scorer, Rick. They shoot their way out of a slump.
Is there another way?
The rebounders, they figure to get a different set of shots.
Shot clock inside of 10. Perkins, a nice lean-in move. Sam Perkins has 6. 12-point lead for Philadelphia as Maurice Cheeks can't find it, but Bobby Jones is there.
Look what I found, because he got that one on the first bounce almost.
Vincent. Last touch by Dallas. Terry Moss coming in along with Dale Ellis. Ellis for the Mavericks, of course, and Moss for the 76ers. Cheeks gets a rest. Blackman gets a rest for Dallas. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Philadelphia.
It's interesting to watch the mixture that the coaches use this time of the game. And what I mean by this time of the game, Rick, is this is almost a dull part of the game, where you're just trying to play even both teams almost.
Sedale Threet score the basket, and the foul is going to be called inside against Uwe Blop for pushing off.
Because both teams basically have second units out there. Now, Perkins is a starter. He's still out there. And Bobby Jones is a starter. He's still out there. But that's a little, there's that shot, and there's a foul.
The right elbow of Uwe Blop pushing against Clem Johnson, who's now at the free throw line. Clem cuts it to a 9-point Dallas lead. 8:35 remaining here in the second period.
I was reading an interesting thing about Brad Davis, Rick. He was a high draft pick and went and played in the CBA and had all kinds of problems. And his comeback has been very effective for Dallas.
Sedale Threet. Perkins.
And the reason I bring that up, that's one of the good things that's developed is a minor league for basketball, so the players that are probably major league players can go down and bone up on the things they should to make them effective as major league players.
Davis weaves his way through. Blop had it. Davis gets it back, and Uwe can't get it to drop in, and a foul spotted by Ed Middleton underneath. It's going to be against Bob McAdoo for pushing. His first personal second team foul against Philadelphia. There's that two-man game we kept talking about. Except they didn't get a chance to use it that time. Perkins from about 18. That's Bobby Jones. McAdoo.
I don't think he can make up his mind whether he want to use the board or the rim. And he shot neither.
And that's usually what happens. The rookie from Indiana, Blop with a little jump hook with a good bounce. His first two of the ball game. Dallas by 11, 7:10 remaining here in the second period. Threet comes up short. Ellis keeps it alive, and that's Davis.
And Threet likes to think that he got hit. He fell down and...
Three-pointer, Dale Ellis. He had made his last 2 of 3 after missing his prior 8 shots.
Good move. He gave
range. And
he gave Brad Davis a couple head and shoulders there that really throws him in his tracks.
Threet cuts it to a 9-point Dallas lead. Threet with 8 points. And Philadelphia now with a little trapping of their own. That's Jay Vincent. Not a chance. Ellis. The second time counts for Dale Ellis. His first 2 points. The two-man game again. Johnson set the screen. They don't use the screens, Bill, the way that they really should. The player with the ball has got to get closer to that man to rub his man off. Perry Moss with an air ball, and Clement Johnson gets a gift and can't capitalize. Second try, counted. He'll go to the free throw line. Second foul against Uwe. Dick Mata obviously didn't think the ball was very good. With 6:05 remaining, we have a timeout. The Dallas Mavericks 44, the 76ers 35. Clem Johnson will be at the line when we return.
In hard-driving NASCAR racing, driver Jeff Bodine relies on the same Exxon motor oil you can buy in stores. Exxon Uniflow, for the tough protection it takes to go the distance. Protection against grinding friction. Protection against searing engine heat. Get the same protection for your car, too. Exxon Uniflow, quality you can count on.
The great thermostat war, the battle that goes on the moment the temperature goes down. Certainteed fiberglass insulation can help defend your home against little family feuds and not so little energy bills. So get plenty of Certainteed fiberglass insulation and bundle up your attic right now. You can also get a free gift, like a telephone, a headphone radio, or a fuel and tool kit. This winter, bundle up with Certainteed and call a truce at the thermostat.
To Jim Peck, who had 5 business lunches in 3 days, Republic Airlines awards the comforts of perks.
I've earned them.
To Denise Cresta, who had to preview 400 patterns of plaid, Republic awards the Executive Suite perk.
I've earned it.
And to Ron Barry, who had to be in 3 cities at the same time, Republic awards a free trip after only 20,000 miles. He's earned it.
We make you feel like
Upcoming NBA action here on the Superstation. Next week on Monday, the New York Knicks will be playing at Milwaukee, taking on the Hot Bucks, who have won 9 in a row. That'll be at 8:05 Eastern Time. Skip and John will bring you all the action in that game. And then Friday, Bill and I will travel to the windy city of Chicago, where the hot Atlanta Hawks, who have won 4 in a row with that big win they had, having beaten L.A. at home before a sellout crowd. First time since 1979 that they've done that. That'll be at 8:05 Eastern Time on Friday. And you'll see a very exciting team. One of the teams that a lot of the experts are picking as a team of the future in the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks, with the exciting Dominique Wilkins and the incredible 8th wonder of the world, Spud Webb. Yeah, our director, Mark Goldsmith, came up with a good one. Bill said maybe it's the 7.5 wonder of the world. 7 on the shot clock for Dallas. That's going to be traveling against Klopp as Derek Harper returns to action for Dallas. It'll send Brad Davis back to the bench. Julius Erving has returned for Philadelphia. And James Donaldson is going to be re-entering on the next dead ball for Dallas. Inside scoring is even at 20 points apiece. They're calling a foul against Derek Harper for tripping Perry Moss.
That'll teach you to fall in front of a guy. You can't sacrifice your body in this game without paying.
Let's watch the play again. There's the block. Got pushed over it, and there they call him for the trip. And Harper is going to get the better of it this time. Harper now has 4 points. Back to a 10-point Dallas lead. 5:25 remaining here in the first half.
And Moses hadn't played very much.
I was going to say that. He's just getting up right now, though, as soon as you said that, Bill. 10 on the shot clock. Clem Johnson short. Julius to McAdoo.
Good way to get an assist, because you know he's going to fire it up. So you got a 50-50 chance of getting one if you give it to him anywhere within 15 feet.
McAdoo with 4 now. Donaldson has powered his way to the basket against Clem Johnson.
Well, Clem Johnson didn't hold his position. He had the position, and
when you got about 290 pushing against you, it's kind of hard to hold position, Bill. That's 4 for Donaldson.
Well, if you're going to give it, you got to give it a little acting job so that it looks like that. See how Bobby looked there?
And what happened on that play is that Perkins let Bobby Jones beat him from the weak side to the strong side, the side that the ball was on, and you must try to keep yourself between the ball and your man, and that's why he paid the price as Cheeks and Moses return, and Clement Johnson and Perry Moss go to the bench for Matt Gukas' 76ers. Mark McGuire also backing out as the fans thought the ball had last touched Julius Erving.
And Julius thought he got hit a little bit, which he did.
Matt Gukas calling out the out-of-bounds play that he would like to have run. And I'm sure he was pleased with the result, as Bob McAdoo now comes up with his 5th and 6th points. That's it to an 8-point Dallas lead, 4:20 to play, second period. There's the 2-man game. And Harper will go to the free throw line, and Philadelphia not adjusting very well to the 2-man action, Bill.
Yes, they're letting the Mavericks go down the middle. And you can't let guys go down the middle at full speed. You got to play them to slow them down. Then you need to help them get there in time. But if you let them go straight without slowing them down, by the time the help gets there, they're in foul trouble.
A reminder that this program is authorized under rights that are granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NBA is prohibited. Harper has 5 points now, and you see a 9-point lead for the Mavericks. Julius with his first 2 points of this second period. He now has 8.
Looks like one of the flying Melendez. That was an acrobatic move.
Cheeks comes from the blind side and takes it away from Donaldson. 5 against 2 for Philadelphia. And they come up with that creative shot. Not exactly the easiest shot for a 5-on-2 opportunity, as Julius now has 10 points.
Good trapeze move there.
Donaldson couldn't get it to drop. Ellis was there, and it winds up in Aguirre's hands, and he knew what to do with it. That's 14 for Mark Aguirre, his first 2 of this second period. And Julius Erving couldn't get it to drop. The foul is going to be against Moses Malone. Let's watch the steal. Look at Cheeks. Just sneaks over from the left side.
And then Julius comes up with this Flying Melinda move here.
That's why it pays to be able to use both hands. Back to live action now. It's James Donaldson. Again, he can't find it, and Aguirre again is there. And the foul will be against Bob McAdoo. That's the penalty against the 76ers. Second foul against Bob McAdoo. We've got a timeout. Still 2:59 remaining here in the second period. And the Dallas lead has been cut to 7, but Aguirre will be at the line.
If you didn't care about the picture, you wouldn't take the shot. At least that's how Eckerd Drug sees it. That's why Eckerd gives you 2 photo guarantees on Ultralab 35 and System 2. Guarantee 1. If you aren't happy with any print, you don't have to pay for it. Guarantee 2. If your prints aren't back when promised, they're free. So if you cared enough to take the shot, take the film to Eckerd. One drugstore is better than the rest. Eckerd.
Basketball, the American game played worldwide.
Power. That's what I practice for. Power. And afterward, I want all the power I can get in my anti-perspirant. Speed Stick.
Now, Speed Stick is improved with the most powerful wetness fighter you can buy. Nothing but nothing fights wetness and odor better.
The Wide Stick. Man-sized protection. Saves a lot of strokes. Helps keep you drier and odor-free all day.
Now it's the most powerful you can buy. New improved Speed Stick antiperspirant.
And a reminder that coming up halftime, Bill Russell will be having a talk with Patrick Ewing, and Bob Neal will be hosting the Prudential Sports Update. And, of course, Bob will bring you up to date with all the sports news. And the big story today, Bill, is Peter Ueberroth with that press conference and some of the suspensions and fines or whatever going on in professional baseball, that Bob Neal will give you all of the
that'll be interesting
details on that.
That'll be an interesting situation to see how it develops. Peter Ueberroth is...
and, of course, that interview you had with Patrick Ewing is the first time anybody's really had a chance to sit down and do an in-depth interview with him. So I'll be anxious to see what you came up with, Bill.
Well, I've known the young man for a long time, Rick, since he's a freshman in college, actually in high school. And he's a really nice kid. A little intense sometimes, but that's good.
Cheeks to Jones to Malone, who can't take it home, and loses it out of bounds as he fights with Barkley, who has returned. Well, Philadelphia not really executing as well as Matt Dukas would like them to. Sam Perkins back in.
I guess Matt Dukas thinks it's safe now to bring Charles Barkley back in. Maybe he won't be getting other attention from the referee.
Shot clock goes down to 10. That's 6. Julius off the Aguirre miss.
And he got fouled
in the backcourt, called against Derek Harper for grabbing Julius Erving after the rebound.
And I think that Harper was surprised to get that foul call because he'd done the same thing a couple of times before and gotten away with it.
Well, Julius to the free throw line. This is only the 3rd time that a 76er is at the free throw line in this game, Bill, and they usually dominate inside. In fact, they usually average 10 more free throws than the opposition over the course of this season. And they have converted 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, have scored 24 points inside, and still this is only the 3rd free throw attempt.
Well, things like that tend to happen in Texas.
There you see what the differential is this season. for the 76ers and their opponents on that free throw line. Julius now has 11 points.
But just think, if they keep this up the whole season, there's going to be another game where they're going to have to make up for this one.
See the time remaining in the first half. Donaldson is able to muscle Moses Malone out of the way. I told you when you have that kind of weight, Bill, what you can accomplish. Cheeks reached in for the foul, his first foul.
Now Moses let him get positioned too deep in there. James Johnson had I think they call that homesteading. He's been in that 3-second lane long enough to lay a foundation. And you can't just let a guy that big and that strong get that close, because all you got to do is turn around and almost dunk it. He's a pretty good free throw shooter.
Well, he really has improved from when he first came into the league. He was a very poor free throw shooter, but he's worked hard at it, and it shows you that practice does indeed pay off. As
Sometimes.
James Donaldson now has
Sometimes,
6.
Rick.
Sometimes. No, I think it always does, Bill.
Rick, you cannot make chicken salad out of chicken feathers.
Shot clock inside of 10. Illegal defensive warning now being called against the Mavericks. It's going to be called against Harper. 24 seconds on the shot clock for Philadelphia. Moses has it blocked by Perkins, and it's
tipped in by Julius. Now, I don't think Moses could have tipped it in.
Would have been catching his own passes.
Right.
Even though, but a defender had touched the ball.
Oh, I didn't think anybody touched it.
Yeah, Perkins had come over and got a hand on it. Rolando Blackman is back in. Can't get the ball to drop over Julius. Julius was open, but the pass was short by Bobby Jones. Picked off by Harper. 4 against 3 now for the Mavericks. And Blackman can't convert. Aguirre again, tough on the offensive glass. 18 now for Mark Aguirre. 1:15 remaining in the half, a 10-point lead for Dallas. Good pass, Bobby Jones to Moses. He can't get it to go the first time, and the second time he takes it home. Moses with 6. He had 42 points, his season high on Tuesday against Chicago. 2-pointer for Aguirre. His foot was touching the line. He has 20.
That's a pretty good half, I'd say, Rick.
Pretty good game. 10-point lead. Inside of a minute left here in the second period. Charles Barkley from 19 feet. He has 12.
And he's a pretty good shooter from out there. You know, at first you say, well, why is he taking that? And you realize that he's making over half of it.
Talk about using your legs to shoot a shot. If Barkley using his legs, he can shoot from three-quarter court and not even using the effort. 5 on the shot clock. This time it was a 3-pointer by Aguirre. And there's 29 seconds remaining in the first half. And Dallas will get the last opportunity. Chance for Philadelphia to cut it to a 6-point lead or less. Trail now by 8. Seven on the shot clock. 5. Moses with the miss. Bobby Jones got stiff-armed in the face by Sam Perkins, and Perkins will be called for the foul.
No, I think
now they're calling it the other way. No, not against Perkins. He was all upset, but they're calling the foul against Bobby Jones. Number 24, Jess Kersey initiated. Let's watch the play. Bobby Jones, left part of your screen on the bottom. Perkins smacks him in the face, and they're calling that foul against Bobby Jones.
Well, he hit him on the elbow with his nose.
You see the second personal against Bobby, and Perkins goes to the free throw line. Al Domenico, the trainer, taking a look at it. Let's watch it again. There's Bobby in the middle of your screen on the left. He just gets whacked right in the face. That's not a good break for the 76ers. 6 seconds remaining in the first half. So instead of cutting into that 8-point deficit, Perkins has a chance to increase the 8-point lead of Dallas, and does it with his 7th point of the game.
And Bobby Jones wants to walk up to him and say, your elbow okay? I didn't hurt it, did I?
Back up to a 10-point Dallas advantage. Final 5 seconds. 2. Taken away by Blackman. Harper got tripped by Julius as he started down the court. Almost twisted his ankle. Dick Motta wanted the foul. You can see him in a little bit of pain right now, but no call made. Mata's upset. He's appealing to the officials, but that is the end of the half. With the score, Dallas 61, the 76ers 51. Reminder, Bob Neal, Prudential Sports Update with all of the sports news.
NBA basketball, America's game. Brought to you in part by Honda. See the Civic hatchback at your local Honda dealer.
Miller beer contains no additives, no preservatives.
Miller's made the American way.
Coach Lyman, he's back.
He can't be back. He's sick in the hospital.
Yeah, they said he might never come back.
All right, lunkheads, laps in 30 seconds.
Today, more people survive cancer of the colon, thanks in part to a test that provides early detection. And Eckerd pharmacists have given out over 1 million of these tests, free.
Mr. Connolly, what's so funny?
We're just glad to have you back, Coach.
To an Eckerd pharmacist, nothing's more important than your health.
Ace Paint, direct from our state-of-the-art factory, the quality you expect from Ace Hardware at a price that will surprise you. This month, Ace 5-Star Ceiling White is Best Buy priced at just $5.99.
Delivered his first blow. 7 big league players were named as engaging in direct use and a prolonged pattern of drug abuse, including distribution. Now, these 7 players, the most serious of the violators, will donate 10% of their salary to a local drug abuse prevention program, submit to random testing throughout their careers, and contribute 100 hours of drug-related community service for the next 2 years. Now, if they fail to meet any of these requirements at any time, they will be suspended for 1 year. These players, known as Category 1, include Lonnie Smith, Keith Hernandez, Enos Cabell, Dale Barrow, Joaquin Andahar, Dave Parker, and Jeff Leonard. Now, Category 2 players were those who used drugs but didn't distribute. They'll donate 5% of their salaries, submit to the testing throughout their career, and contribute 50 hours of drug-related community service for 2 years. If they fall off any of those programs, they will go on a 60-day suspension. These players are Lee Lacy, Claudell Washington, Al Holland, and Larry Sorensen. There was also a third category, players against whom little or no evidence was found, and those players will have to be tested, but they'll face no other action. And this group included Dusty Baker, Gary Matthews, Manny Sarmiento, and Darryl Thomas. Uberoth said all the players involved say they are not now using drugs. Said the commissioner, I have no reason not to believe them. Let's go away from the drug stories now to the NBA. A lot of action in the league tonight. First of all, back to the Boston Garden. The Boston Celtics on a 4-game streak, a standing ovation for Cornbed Maxwell, traded for Walton in the offseason. But look at Bird going out of bounds with a bounce pass to Robert Parrish. Bird has 14 at halftime. Parrish has 11. Here's Bird again. Just inside the 3, fakes everybody into the paint, cans it from about 18 feet. Larry Bird on a roll again, and Boston leading in the third quarter, 81-64 over the L.A. Clippers, who have lost 3 games in a row and are headed to number 4, apparently. Detroit leading Atlanta by 5. These teams separated by 0.03 of a percentage point in Central Division. They're playing for the home berth in the playoffs, so it's a big game. Detroit and the Hawks both on winning streaks right now. Other scores in the NBA tonight. In the third quarter, New Jersey and San Antonio, 75-70. It's New Jersey in front. They're on losing streaks. One of them will break it here. Chicago leading Cleveland, 22-19 in the first period. Both teams injured, both teams having bad seasons. It's a sellout. Why? The Chicago Bears are playing the Green Bay Packers in basketball exhibition, and they do love the Bears in Chicago, even in the basketball season. In a minute we'll be back to talk about a perfect 10 as we look at our Goodwill Minute, but right now let's have a look at upcoming games tonight in the NBA.
Choosing a life insurance policy can make anyone feel helpless. You're at the mercy of strangers. Your hands are tied. You feel pressured. But help is never too far away. With Prudential, your agent has the time to talk to you, listen to you, and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you're comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
The Goodwill Minute, the pageantry, competition, and the personalities of amateur athletics, and the promise of the Goodwill Games.
Perfection? That's Greg Louganis, the only diver ever to earn the perfect score in national and international competition. This three-time NCAA diving champion has been a world-class competitor for the last 10 years, going back to his silver medal winning days at the Olympics of '76. Winner of more U.S. national titles than anyone in history, Louganis captured the world's attention at the Summer Olympics of '84 with his double gold medal performance. It helped earn him the Sullivan Award as the top amateur athlete of '84. He is, true to his desire, the best ambassador the sport of diving could ever have.
Granted, not everybody can get up on the 10-meter platform and do a reverse 3.5, but everybody can come out to the pool and see a reverse 3.5 that's performed well and appreciate it.
And hopefully the world will get the chance to appreciate his efforts this summer at the World Championships and the Goodwill Games.
Qualifying for diving will take place in April at the U.S. Indoor Nationals in Indianapolis. Well, it's a tough interview in the NBA to get Patrick Ewing to talk, but our Bill Russell did, and we'll have that when we return in just a moment.
Powerful new financial help is coming. The Rock, the Prudential, is now more than insurance. It's mutual funds, home mortgages, IRAs, stocks and bonds, new products and new ideas. It's rock-solid financial help for us all. The Rock, the Prudential. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Portions of this halftime have been brought to you by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Everyone plays basketball, but in the NBA, they play it better than anyone. America's game. It's fantastic.
To John Kaiser, who had 6 grand openings in 3 days, Republic Airlines awards the comforts of perks.
These are enough.
To Gary McKee, who had to laugh at the same joke 6 times, Republic awards the executive suite perk.
You've earned it.
And to Nell McCarran, who had to dress for success in 6 cities, Republic awards a free trip after only 20,000 miles.
I've earned it.
We make you feel like flying.
A reluctant interview subject, Patrick Ewing has always said he does his talking on the basketball court, but when the great Bill Russell asked Ewing for an interview, the New York Knicks rookie agreed to talk.
I know you say you go out there and play the best you can.
Right.
Did you set any goals for yourself the first year?
Well, I wanted to make the All-Star team, which I did. And I also wanted to do the best that I possibly can to help the Knicks to win. And I think that when I'm in there, the team is a lot better than when I'm not there. I guess it is my job to do that.
Now, what would you have to change? Do you think you'd have to change to say, make a 5-game difference? What would you personally have to change?
In my game?
Yeah.
I could rebound a lot better than I am right now. Clog up the middle a lot better. There's still a lot of things that I feel I need to improve on.
There are a lot of people that hear all kinds of things about your relationship with John Thompson.
Right.
And he's a dear friend of mine, so I know what kind of guy he is. A lot of people thought that he tried to control you while you're in college.
No, not really. That's not Coach Thompson. He doesn't try to control his players. He just tried to teach them and let them learn and grow. I felt that's what he did. He allowed me gave me the time for me to mature and to grow into the person that I am today.
In college, you had a reputation as a defensive and team player. And now everyone's surprised at how well you play offense. You expected that, though, didn't you?
I always knew I could score. When I was at Georgetown, my role was to play defense, block shots, and then it was to score. Here, I have to do both. I have to play defense, block shot, and score at the same time. So, and I always knew that I could do it, but in college, there wasn't really any need for me to score a lot of points because I had other people to do it.
How did it feel in your junior year when you finally won that big game?
It felt great. When you reach a goal that you've set up for yourself, when you've achieved that goal, it makes you feel very proud, and we've definitely felt proud. We felt very proud that we have achieved the goal that we had set out at the beginning of the year. I was hoping we could have won another one.
You're right. You see, you keep getting those rings and stuff, you run out of fingers.
Well, I hope to be like you. I have one for every finger.
Okay, now, as you reach the middle of your first year, if you could decide what your reputation is going to be at the end of your career, what would it be?
Hopefully I'll be one of the greatest. Whenever you do something, you always want to be one of the greatest or the greatest. And I would like to be one of the greatest.
In a recent independent test, new car shoppers compared Renault Alliance to Toyota Corolla. In riding comfort, Renault won. Driving ease, Renault won. In styling, comfort,
and Rick Barry and Bill Russell.
Thank you very much, Bob. And Bill seems like he had a good time talking with Patrick.
Yes, he's a really fine person, and I think he'll be one of the really great basketball players like he wants to be.
Okay, let's talk about this ball game. This game right now is being decided on the free throw line with 10 more points coming for Dallas on the free throw line. And usually it's the other way around with Philadelphia.
Well, Dallas is playing better defense than the Sixers, and the reason they're not getting in foul trouble, I think, is that they're playing defense with their feet. In other words, they're getting in position to play good defense, and I think the Sixers, they're playing with their hands. That's why Dallas get a lot of penetration and going to the foul line.
Okay, what about some of those matchups? It seems as though Julius is having a little problem with Blackman, and it doesn't look like they're handling Aguirre inside. What do you think Matt Guokas will do in this situation in the second half?
Well, I think that the key guy is, again, that Moses did not have a good first half. And as we talked about before the game, Rolando Blackman is off to a real good start. Between he and Aguirre, they've got a lot of stuff inside. And again, I can't overemphasize that Moses has to really clearly outplay the other centers if they're going to beat a team around 500 or better. And so far, he hasn't really done that.
Okay, well, we'll see whether or not Moses Malone is able to turn things on in the second half and pull the 76ers out of that 10-point deficit that they're facing right now when we come back to the start of the second half. And break, and you can see what happened to those Mavs with that great shooting when they started off making their first 8. They wound up at 53% for the half and 49% for the 76ers. But the free throws, of course, the big difference. The Mavs shooting 86% from the free throw line. That was a 13 for 15 and only 3 for 4 for Philadelphia. They only got to the free throw line 4 times. So they're going to have to try and make some adjustments there and turn things around here in the second half. It'll be interesting to see what Matt Guokas comes up with. The assists, both teams passing the ball, I thought, exceptionally well. And Mavs with 5 blocks to only 1 block for Philadelphia. So, as you said, they are playing pretty tough defense. They're collapsing in quite well when Moses gets the ball. And as you pointed out, he's had to make those double clutches and double pumps and really hasn't been able to shake loose.
You know, I had a rather nice conversation with Matt Guokas, and he was saying that they haven't been shooting the ball outside well. And he says tonight he expects to see a lot of the Mavericks lead the game with a lot of blue paint on the bottom of their shoes defensively, because they're going to all stack it in the middle, because that's where their offense is, and they haven't been able to really bring it out, making the outside shot. That's where they miss guys like Andrew Toney and etc.
Well, you can see the scoring leaders now for both of the ball clubs. And notice that Moses Malone is absent from the Philadelphia list. Moses with only 6 points in the first half. Same starting. No, Sadale Threet has started the ball game in the backcourt. Julius has been moved forward. Bobby Jones has gone to the bench for Matt Gukas, so that's the adjustment he has started off with. The shot clock is at 7, and Moses takes it home. 8 for Moses.
Now, Moses says when he plays, and if he doesn't get that hand hit early in the game, he's okay.
That front court scoring, a direct result of the poor first half that Moses had offensively. Shot clock inside of 10 for Dallas. Julius now with the task of guarding Aguirre. Little contact, no foul. 22 now for Mark Aguirre. Cheeks cuts to the basket, was open. Moses couldn't get it to him. Julius finds Sadell Threet wide open. And that's what Moses does best, right there on the offensive boards. Foul's going to be called by Donaldson.
Now, James Johnson had no chance. He jumped, came down. That's all he did.
Tries to screen Moses off. Now, Moses makes a spin move back to the baseline to get away from him. So James holding on. There you see him now live action with 2 personal fouls. Julius one-on-one against Perkins. Cheeks. Maurice Cheeks now with only 4 points. Maurice had 9 in their last win over Chicago, and he had been averaging 26 points a game for a 5-game stretch as Mark Aguirre can't find it. And Barkley finally comes away with the loose ball.
Boy, Barkley was open that time. Cheeks missed him.
That doesn't happen very often. Barkley spins strong against Perkins, and the foul will be on Perkins as Barkley got the offensive rebound. Second team foul now against Dallas, and the second on Sam.
Perkins did not have much of a chance on that play. Once Barkley started baseline, and Perkins had played pretty good defense to start the play.
Barkley now with 13 points. Now that black band on the jersey of the 76ers is in memory of Dave Zinkoff, the public address announcer who passed away recently, and a very nice tribute to a man who was a fine asset to the game of professional basketball for so many years. Dallas again trying to run that 2-man action. Shot clock goes inside of 10. Aguirre takes Julius to school. You get behind a player like Mark Aguirre down underneath that close to the basket, and you're going to have serious problems. 3 fouls now on Julius.
And one interesting thing to watch is the expression on Aguirre's face when he got the ball within 15 feet of the basket. Complete confidence. I mean, just total confidence that he can do anything he wants to do.
See what he did last year against these 76ers. Had a 49-point game in that game that was won by Dallas by 2 here in Reunion Arena. And he has now 24 points tonight.
Well, you'd like to see the Sixers coming. That way he keeps his average up.
Yeah, it's true. We've gone inside of 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Barkley from about 20. And as Bill said, he can shoot it from there. Barkley now with 15.
And what's nice about that shot that Barkley just made is that it doesn't require very much work offensively so that you can work a little harder defensively.
From Aguirre.
That's one thing a good team over 82-game schedule has to have. They have to have a way to get some easy baskets so you don't have to work so hard on offense because you've got to work hard on defense.
Cheeks, nice cut, excellent pass from the outside. And that's Perkins taking to the basket strong. Sam Perkins now with 10 points. Cheeks from 17. And Maurice Cheeks starting to look to be more offensive-minded, now has 8 points, 6 of them here in the third period. Philadelphia shooting 5 for 6 thus far in this period as Mark Aguirre can't find it. Sadell Threet. Maurice Cheeks definitely looking to be offensive-minded, and Barkley takes it home. Aguirre couldn't keep him off the boards. That's 17 for Charles.
You know, he has a perfect attitude around when you get the ball around the basket, dunk it. It does a lot of good for you, and you almost all the time you'll make it. Almost.
Julius with the steal on the Harper pass. 3 against 1, the Doctor. And the Doctor has cut it to a 3-point lead now for Dallas. 8:05 remaining here in the third period, and Dr. J has 15 points. Timeout. Dallas, as their 10-point lead, has dwindled down to 3 with still 8:01 remaining here in the third period, and Dick Motta looks very concerned.
In a recent independent test, new car shoppers compared Renault Encore to Ford Escort. On roominess, Renault won. Pickup and passing, Renault won. In styling, Renault's European design won again. In fact, Renault won over Ford in 29 of 30 categories. Renault Encore, with 550 plus, America's best small car protection.
Get 7.5 factory financing or up to $700 back on any new Renault Alliance or Encore.
At Delta, we could talk about our airplanes, some of the best maintained, most modern birds in the sky, or our schedules, over 1,500 flights a day worldwide, or our flight centers, the airports of the future. But none of that is as important as people. And when it comes to the Delta professionals, the people who make Delta as great as it is, well, one smile is worth 1,000 words. Delta gets you there.
When you start something good, everyone wants a piece of it. Take light beer from Miller. Now there's lots of light beers out there saying they're less filling. Heck, that was the easy part. The hard part is brewing a light beer that tastes great. That's why Light's always brewed only with the finest ingredients. To let all that great beer taste come through for guys like you and me. The taste that's made light beer from Miller America's favorite light beer.
Hey, I always thought it was the easy opening can.
And a look at the men's scoreboard in action tonight. Boston, no surprise, leading in the fourth over the Clippers. New Jersey and San Antonio in a real dogfight. And Atlanta trailing Detroit, 2 hot teams. Detroit 9 wins in a row. Atlanta with 4 wins in a row. And Cleveland trailing Chicago by 3 in the second.
You know, Rick, in starting third quarter, the Sixers obviously have made some adjustments to get back in this ball game. And what they've done is make the Mavericks have to work for every shot. And even if you make them, and it looks like a good shot, if you have to work for it, it takes a little bit out of you on the other end.
Blackman, foul against Freet. Julius came up with the block, but that will send Rolando to the free throw line. Second against Rolando, against Freet. 76ers second team foul. And there is Philadelphia with 5 more opportunities on the field goals here in the third period, which makes quite a difference. And when you're shooting 7 of 9, that makes even more of a difference. Rolando Blackman, 15 points. And he played so well coming out of the All-Star break. He was so pumped up being on the All-Star team. He had 6 terrific games. And then he went into that little bit of a slump that we mentioned earlier in the telecast when he was averaging only 16 a game as opposed to 26 a game. Now a little trapping on the part of the Mavericks. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Philadelphia ball with 13 on the shot clock.
Sometimes the 76ers offensively will make it difficult for their teammates because they don't get far enough away from the ball to give each other room to operate sometimes.
7 on the shot clock. Julius against Perkins. Julius with a great pass to Moses. Foul is going to be against Perkins. And that's twice Julius has made good moves to the basketball, and when he drew the defense, he dished it off to Moses.
I think that he had that in mind when he got the penetration. If the shot was there, he was going to take it, but good pass, and there's the foul right there.
And that's what penetration will do for you. You get inside, you create problems with the defense. They must adjust to the basketball, and the good players will find the open men. And, of course, Julius has been one of the best over the years. Moses converts the first free throw. He now has 9 points and 5 rebounds, make it 10 points. And it's a 3-point lead again for Dallas, 7:30 remaining here in the third period. Blackman off the screen by Donaldson and the assist to Aguirre.
And that was a tough shot, Rick. But I think he was shooting it before he came around the screen.
He has 18. That's Julius Erving. Perkins. Sam Perkins with the right hand.
One of the better.
Sam.
I think Sam Perkins is one of the better kept secrets in the league. He's a real solid player. Very rarely is he spectacular, but he is steady.
Sedale 3 as Donaldson and Moses battle underneath for position. Sedale has 10 off the bench for Matt Gukas. Of course, he did start here in the second half. McGuire and Doctor, two of the finest forwards in the league.
He missed Rolando Blackman on that one.
Man-to-man, 3-second violation being called underneath.
Well, Rolando Blackman went to the baseline, was open, and he didn't get the ball. I think he's reluctant to leave because he was so wide open. That'll cost you 3 seconds, though.
Moses to the free throw line. Foul against Donaldson, and Moses is determined to make a quick move, and that's what he needs to do, because the way Dallas has been playing, when he takes his time, they're able to drop people in on him, and he doesn't have anywhere to go. So when he makes that fast move, it creates a big problem for Donaldson.
What he either should do is, as soon as he gets the ball, pass it up and get it back, or make the move right away.
See, Moses seemed to enjoy playing against Dallas last season as well. 26 points, 13 rebounds. Moses now with 11. 5:55 remaining here in the third period. Dallas had led at one time by 12 points. 4 minutes left in the first period. Led by 10 at the half. And Harper picks it back up now to an 8-point lead for Dallas. Make that a 6-point lead. Moses Malone. Back to a 4-point lead at the 5:25 mark. Malone with 13. He's already surpassed his output in the first half, which was 6.
I think it's going to be on James Donaldson.
Yes, it is, for pushing Moses Malone as he was battling inside for position. That's 4 now against Donaldson, and it's also the penalty against the Mavericks. That'll send Moses to the free throw line. The Sixers with only 2 team fouls.
You know, I was watching, and when Moses is playing and James Johnson, they get the ball in, and everybody collapses. When I was playing center, I'd like for the guys to collapse, but I tell the guy that passed to me to take up the slack. Take 2 steps forward after you pass. And so that you got an easy shot when I get it right back to you. And the next time, I'll be able to get a shot off because they won't be so quick to double team.
Moses in that game against the Bulls was 16 for 16 from the free throw line, but he's having a little problem here tonight. He has 14 thus far. Coming up on the 5-minute mark here in the third period. Julius saves it to 3. 5 against 2. 3 against Perkins, and it's a 1-point ball game. And Sedale Threet has 12.
And I think Maurice got run over by Charles Barkley. And that's got to really hurt when your own man runs over you. Especially if it's a Charles Barkley.
There's that 2-man game. Donaldson, Harper throws it away. Cheeks will get it. No, Cheeks will take it by himself. And the 76ers have taken the lead. With 4:30 remaining in the third period, they lead by 1.
And Dick Motter wants a 20-second timeout.
It's our first lead change of the ball game. And this is the problem that the Mavericks have had. Let's watch Julius now on this hustle to save this ball on the sideline.
And strangely enough, if he hadn't saved it, it would have been a Sixers ball out of bounds anyway.
But as a result, they got an easy basket out of it. Now, Philadelphia, Bill, has not only done a better job with the execution of their offense, they have been working real hard on the defense, and as you pointed out, the Mavericks have not been able to get those easy opportunities inside that they had gotten in the first half.
You see, Rick, I think that the offense helps your defense just like the defense helps the offense. If you can get some easy baskets, you play better defense. If you play better defense, you get easy baskets.
Well, you saw the turnover points that Philadelphia has come up with against Dallas thus far in the game. They're leading in that department. Aguirre with 6 on the shot clock. Barkley had it, and Freak comes away with it. Barkley takes it home.
And he took it home.
It's like he'd been away on a long vacation, couldn't wait to get there. 3-point lead for the 76ers, their biggest of the game. Barkley kept that alive to Cheeks. 4 against 2. Cheeks against Harper. Great block, but Julius is there, and a super reverse right-hand shot, and that quickly the Sixers have a 5-point lead with 3:35 remaining in the third period, and just a little while ago, they had trailed by 10. Timeout. Dallas and the concerned sellout crowd on hand, and here comes Maurice Cheeks taking the move to the basket. Julius does not get screened off, picks it up. Now watch this great reverse with the right hand. A 5-point lead for Philadelphia. A look at the field goal percentages tells a story here in the third period. Philadelphia 12 for 15, and they got a lot of layups, Bill. 4 turnovers for Dallas turned into 8 points in Philly on layups.
What Matt Guokas did, he changed his lineup, and he's got a very quick team that can run and rebound. And that, I think, has been a major difference. They're out-quicking the Mavericks this half.
And also, Philadelphia has established the inside game, 44 to 34 against Dallas. Shot clock inside of 10 as Jay Vincent has come into the game for the Mavs, along with Brad Davis. That's traveling. Another turnover as Blackman is called for. 13 turnovers now.
And the Sixers are playing the good half-court defense. But that's obvious, I guess.
Bobby Jones will be coming in for Philadelphia momentarily. 7 on the shot clock. Moses Malone establishing himself here as 16 points, and 10 of those have come here in this third period. Biggest lead of the game for Philadelphia, and that's going to be a foul against Julius Erving. Will be the third team foul against the 76ers.
Now, Julius, I think he got the short end of that deal because he's in here. Now, there's the push right there, see? And I think it was Jay Vincent doing the pushing rather than Julius.
Well, I think actually, Bill, I have to disagree with you because I think Julius came over his back to get the first try at the ball, and so I'm sticking up for the officials this time. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Rick.
I know, you'll get me back.
Letter to follow.
Rolando Blackman, Bobby Jones got his hand on it. Barkley with the rebound, and Philadelphia continuing to dominate here in the third period. Philadelphia has made their last 6 field goal opportunities. Barkley off the Moses miss. Perkins with the foul. Barkley with the basket, and Philadelphia is rolling. They lead by 9, and Barkley with a chance to have made it a 20-point swing if he makes this free throw, Bill, from a 10-point deficit to a 10-point lead in less than 10 minutes.
In order to do that, you got to play strong defense, because if you get 13 points and they get 13, it's a wash. But if you get 13 and they get nothing.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It was a 13-0 run by Philadelphia so far. Coming up on the 2-minute mark as Mark Aguirre will be coming back in. Blackman against 3. Count it. That was a very difficult shot. Perkins to the bench as Aguirre comes in. Let's watch that last move by Rolando. Almost walked with that move with the body. Threet as he makes a terrific acrobatic move with the right hand as he was behind the basket, but he heard the whistle, Bill, and he knew he was going to get the ball up to the basket.
So you tell me all you scorers got good ears, huh?
When you hear the whistle, find some way to get it airborne towards the hoop. 20 points for Rolando, and he has now gone over the 7,000 career point mark. 1:58 remaining third period. He cuts the 76er lead back to 6. Julius popped in the nose as you see him trying to correct that problem as Moses Malone with the double clutch move inside will go to the free throw line once again. This time the foul will be against Blackman. Of course, Donaldson looked concerned. He has 4. As Bill pointed out, Moses, the man who needs to turn things on for the 76ers, did not have a particularly good first half. The Sixers trailed by 10. Moses now has 18 points, and 12 of those have come here in the third period, and the 76ers have taken control, leading by 8. Crystal ball was working today, Bill, or tonight. Vincent wide open.
Another breakdown defensively. They should have switched or let the guy through, and they didn't, and he's got a wide open shot. You can't do that.
Moses Malone, 20 points for Big Mo. And that 8-point lead for Philadelphia. 1:05 remaining, third period, and it has been all Philadelphia.
And the Sixers are playing pretty good defense now. If they can keep it up for the full 20 seconds or 24 seconds, they'll break down there. And they paid.
Well, Blackman.
And he shot that with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. So they played defense for 19 seconds. They should have played it for 21.
And they're going to Moses exclusively as Vincent comes over to double team. They come away with the steal. Sixers back very well. 3 against 4. Bobby Jones with the block. Cheeks keeps it alive, and now it's the Sixers' turn. 4 against 1, and Moses takes it home. 22 for Moses. The Sixers now with a 12-point lead. Their biggest lead, well, 8-point lead again. I'm sorry. Their biggest lead has been 9. Final 15 seconds of this third period. 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. There's 4 on the shot clock. Now there's 2. Donaldson gets it back. 3 left in the game and a foul in the period as Donaldson will get to the free throw line with only 2 seconds remaining in this period, and Bobby Jones will pick up his third personal.
And that was not a good foul. They should not have let him get the offensive rebound, but after he did, from the position he was in, there was no reason to foul him.
James, who has come to Dallas via Seattle and the Los Angeles Clippers. He has only 3 points tonight. 3 rebounds tonight, that is. He has 8 points tonight. Final desperation toss does not go, and we have finished 3 periods of play, and the Philadelphia 76ers find themselves with a 6-point lead after trailing by 10 at the half.
This Jeep Cherokee has some amazing things going for it. Room for 5 adults or 71 cubic feet of cargo.
American television.
Well, that move made by Matt Gukas putting Julius Erving back in the front court in the play of Moses Malone, Bill, has certainly turned the front court scoring around in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers.
I'll tell you one thing that happens when you put Julius in the front court and Moses has more room to operate because Julius knows about the territory situation. And if you're going to play one-on-one and take advantage of your man, you need some room, and you got to get your teammates away from there. Julius does that better than most forwards.
And, of course, as you said, Moses, the man that has to get the job done and outplay the opposing center. And Moses came up with 16 points in that third period. And you can see that the Mavericks, with that horrendous record when they're trailing after 3 quarters, find themselves in that unenviable situation right now.
Now, Matt Goose is taking a chance now. He's going to give Maurice Cheeks a rest.
And, of course, the loss tonight by the Mavericks was fall them right back down and slip back down to 500 basketball. Jay Vincent, offensive foul. Good call as he pushed off.
Now, the reason I say that, what Matt Gukas obviously is going to do, key guy going down the stretch is Maurice Cheeks. Because that's where your mistakes are minimized is at the point guard. And so giving him a rest now so he'll be fresh going down the stretch is a pretty strong move.
We'll see what the young player Moss can do. Good pass inside from Moses to Bobby Jones. That's the first points of the ball game for Bobby.
And what they've done there is open up that whole half of the court for Moses to operate, and then you can cut and get something effective.
Blackman. Barkley with the block, but the foul spotted against Moss outside. First foul against Perry.
Now, this is a very important time for the Mavericks. They have got to make a move while Maurice Cheeks is still sitting.
Davis, excellent pass to Vincent. Donaldson, Barkley goaltending. There's Maurice Cheeks, the man that Bill was talking about. So important to this ball club and running them from the backcourt. Plays both ends of the court as well as anyone in the league. Dwyer off the Moses miss. Blackman knifes past Moss. Cuts it to a 4-point lead now for the 76ers. Blackman with 25. And he's obviously broken out of that little slump he was in, Bill. And the sellout crowd trying to become the sixth man, as Moses Malone says, forget it, fellas. 24 for Moses. But again, Moses is making the good, quick first move and not wasting too much time in there, and that's enabled him to shake free. The alley-oop, Blackman from Vincent.
Now, Perry Moss is getting burned. He's a young player, hasn't played very much, and Rolando is taking him to school.
Donaldson battling Malone will be called for his fifth personal foul. Sam Perkins coming back in, and along with Clement Johnson, as Moses will be getting a rest, and this is the time that they are going to really have to make a move with both Cheeks and Moses Malone on the bench for the 76ers. There goes Donaldson to get a rest with his fifth personal. And Moses getting his rest. And he did yeoman work over the last 14 minutes. Barkley from 19. And now the Mavericks with the chance to cut into that lead by Philadelphia. And Jay Vincent can't do it. Barkley with another rebound. Three. Fidel, three. Excellent move. He ran right up the back of Vincent, who had his back turned and was able to knife his way to the basket. Again, bad ball-man relationship. You must know where the ball is at all times on the court. Fidel has 14. Perkins from Davis. Perkins on the second opportunity. 14 for Sam.
Good move.
4-point lead for Philly.
Getting the offensive board, but if he had a chance to dunk that, and he wouldn't have had to take a chance on him.
Barkley against Dwyer. That's Perkins. 9 minutes to go here in the ball game. Vincent with the left hand. It's a 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Jay Vincent has 8 points. Timeout, Philadelphia.
You're gonna love this joint, Madden. If I don't die of thirst before we get there, I can't go on, Mick.
Don't be a chump. I'm thirsty, too. Just think of those ice-cold Miller Lights.
Yeah, Light's got the big taste I need for this kind of thirst. Stand aside! I'm coming through!
Don't say it. I already know.
For a big thirst, there's only one light beer. Miller Lite.
Hi, Mickey.
How'd she get here?
Limo.
Limo?
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
There's nothing like the feeling of reaching for the top, and there's nothing like the feeling of the Good News disposable razor. Light, easy to handle, twin blades. It's a feeling you only get from Gillette. Good news from Gillette.
I'd like to remind you, coming up this Sunday, the sports page with Nick Charles and Kevin Christopher hosting at 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, with all of the news, Peter Uberoff and the drug problem going on in Major League Baseball and, of course, the NBA with their recent news there, they're going to have an interview with John Drew, a young man who was playing in the NBA and has been suspended from the NBA because of his drug involvement. They'll have an interview with John and see what has happened to that young man's life. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Philadelphia. Barkley went man-on-man against Aguirre and came out victorious. That's 23 for Charles Barkley. He's continuing with his outstanding play.
Aguirre let him go baseline, and there was no help when they went baseline. No help at all. And there very rarely is.
Shot clock inside of 10 now for Dallas. That's 5. Barkley knocks it away. And Moss can't hold on to it. They're going to call it against Philadelphia ball.
Jay Benson hit the ball, knocked it loose, I think.
Fans didn't think so, Bill.
Fans don't think. They just react. I agree with the referee that time, though, Rick.
Great pass, Bobby Jones to Barkley, who takes it home inside. Charles Barkley now with 25. He's the leading scorer for Philadelphia. Moses trails him by 1 with 24.
That was sort of poetic gesture that he would get the basket after the good defensive play to come up with the ball.
Mark Aguirre, Barkley with the block from the weak side and the rebound. Barkley now has 10 rebounds to go along with his 25 points. 17-footer by Charles. Make it 27 points for Charles Barkley. And quickly, Philadelphia back up to an 8-point lead with 7:22 remaining. Davis knifes his way in. I think everybody thought they were going to call timeout.
They picked the timeout.
Yes, he just snuck his way to the basket. Even Dick Botta and Bobby Weiss, his assistant, laughed at that one. A tricky move by Brad Davis. Coming up on the 7-minute mark, shot clock inside of 10. That's Perry Moss, off balance. Clement Johnson keeps it alive, and Barkley comes through with 2 more. 29 for Charles Barkley. His career high is 31. And now it's a timeout by the Dallas Mavericks for real.
Timeout.
6:48 remaining here in the ball game. The 76ers have exploded back out to an 8-point advantage.
At Delta, we could talk about our airplanes. Some of the best maintained, most modern birds in the sky.
Or for up to $700 back on any new Renault Alliance or Encore.
Rick Barry back with Bill Russell. Final 6:48 of this ball game. If you just joined us, the Dallas Mavericks jumped out to a 10-point lead at the half, only to see Moses Malone turn things around with 16 points in the third quarter. And now Charles Barkley has taken over. You see those points off of offensive rebounds for Philadelphia with a commanding 10-point advantage there. Charles Barkley with 8 points. Here in the fourth period, when Moses Malone was on the bench resting along with Maurice Cheeks and also Julius Erving, as Maurice Cheeks now comes back into the contest. Dale Ellis is in for the Mavericks. 10 on the shot clock. Aguirre over Jones. He'll go to the free throw line.
You know that play that the Mavericks did when they faked the timeout? It reminds me when I was in high school, we lost the city championship in football on a kind of play like that. We punted to the other team, and the ball rolled dead. Nobody touched it, and our guys walked off. The other team picked it up and ran for a touchdown. They won the game by 6 points. Isn't it funny how things...
I thought maybe you were going to tell me you played football.
No, I was a mascot.
You're the mascot.
I wasn't as big then as I am now, Rick.
Julius Erving back into the ballgame with his nose stuffed full of cotton. 26 points for Aguirre, 9 rebounds and 7 assists. The fans wanted a turnover called against Philadelphia. They'll not get it. Eight on the shot clock.
He's done a good job of holding.
Cheeks.
Great pass.
Basket.
They're trying to keep the ball away from Barkley, and they should, because he can't hurt him if he can't get the ball. But then he's getting on the offensive boards.
Well, Cheeks came into the game and showed you the smart player he is. In the first opportunity, when his man turned his head, he cut to the basket, got an easy 2. Three-pointer, Ellis. Barkley with another rebound. Julius with a big advantage against Davis, and that's illegal defense against Vincent as he was trying to come over to help, and a technical foul is called against the Mavericks as a result of that second violation.
That's when the good things can happen. If you've got a good one-on-one player and you can isolate, you can do the same thing with a 2-on-2 half court. But let's take a look at it here.
He's right in the middle of the screen, 31, Jay Vincent. You can see that he's not guarding anyone, and he didn't really make an attempt to get to Julius. Had he immediately, when his man cut, run to Julius, then he would not have gotten called for the violation.
We wanted to make sure that he was checking to see if the blue paint was really not going to wash away.
9-point lead now for the 76ers. That matches their biggest lead of the ball game. Still 5.5 minutes to play. Alley-oop, Barkley takes it home. Great pass from Julius. And an excellent timing play by Charles Barkley, who has now 31. Ties his career high. Aguirre with a good move inside. Mark Aguirre having an outstanding game. 29 now for Mark, as Rolando Blackman will be coming in. You see him sitting there at half court. Moses getting a lot of rest on the bench. Julius has it stripped away by Davis. That's Ellis with Moss chasing him. Count it. He'll go to the line. And Matt Dukas very upset by that play. He walked all the way down to the other end of the Philadelphia bench and decides to put Moses back in the game. Here's the play again. Now watch Davis come from the left part of your screen, reaches in right there and knocks the ball away from Julius. And Ellis with the quick play down the court, showing good speed, and the reach in by Moss, the basket. And now Ellis will be at the line. Moss will go to the bench along with Clem Johnson as Tadal Threet returns with Moses Malone.
And so far, I think Matt Dukas has done a real good job of getting the guys ready that he wants to go down and stretch with. And that sometimes can be complicated by foul trouble or guys getting a little tired or having off games. But his guys that he wants to go down and stretch with so far are in pretty good shape in terms of they're in the game and they're playing well.
6-point lead for Philadelphia. Moses, not a good shot. Perkins, who is in, takes it away.
Perkins creates different problems for Moses than James Donaldson.
Three-pointer, Ellis, count it. A 3-point lead now for the 76ers. Ellis with 8 points.
Now, Sam Perkins creates a different problem for Moses because he's a better vertical player.
Timeout for Philadelphia. And they're doing it again, Bill. They've had 3 great games over the last 3 seasons here in this building, and we've got another barn burner on our hands, so don't go away. 4:28 left.
Renault and Jeep, the official vehicles of the NBA, presents the NBA Rulebook. New York Knick guard Darrell Walker drives the baseline for a layup, but his attempt fails to touch the rim or backboard. Walker rebounds his own shot and tries again. Does play continue?
When you compare Ford Ranger...
On Monday night NBA, Super Rookie Patrick Ewing in New York go bucket hunting against Super Sidney Moncrief, Terry Cummings in Milwaukee. Live at 8:05 p.m. Eastern on the Superstation. Monday. When you want to see the best, it's WTBS at the Hoops.
And we have some finals on the men's scoreboard. Boston wins their 4th in a row over the Clippers. New Jersey a winner over San Antonio. Detroit wins over Atlanta. Alley-oop, Barkley. Great pass by Julius and another terrific play by Charles Barkley, who has established a new career high. He has 33 points. He now has also, he's 16 for 19 in field goal attempts, and he's got 13 rebounds. That's Brad Davis. That'll keep the fans happy here at Reunion. 4 minutes to play. 3-point lead by Philadelphia.
Now for the rest of the game, I think you'd expect to see mostly almost exclusively the half-court offenses and half-court defenses. And the team that executes the best their half-court offense will win this ball game.
Moses can't get it to drop. Aguirre with a big rebound for Dallas. And both teams, Bill, were shooting great before that shot by Moses. They were both 10 for 15 from the field.
Well, that was good defense. They helped out from the weak side so that Moses had to take a shot before he wanted to take it. He had to pull up.
Shot clock inside of 10. Davis to Aguirre. It's a 1-point lead for Philadelphia. Aguirre has 30 and 10 rebounds. He may get a triple-double. He also, I believe, is close to double figures in assists. He had 7 just a while ago. Outstanding game by Mark Aguirre. The sixth man goes to work. The fans, of course, we're talking about. Knocked away by Ellis, but Cheeks was right there. 1 on the shot clock. They just got it off. And a chance for the Mavericks to regain the lead with 2:50 remaining. Shot clock. Vincent over Barkley. Tough shot. Big rebound for Dale Ellis. And a foul called against Ellis. That'll be the second team foul against Dallas. Second team personal against Dale. Let's see it again. Watching the right part of the middle of the screen now. Ellis goes up over the back and hits Cheeks with the body. Excellent call by the official. Moses with the post-up move. Tough shot, keeps it alive, but they call a foul, and it's going to be called against Moses on the offensive rebound side. Third personal against Moses. Watch it again. Tough shot as he muscled in over the back of Aguirre, who snuck in. And Mark has done an outstanding job on the boards tonight, Bill. Three-pointer, Ellis, no chance. Last touch by Moses. It will be Dallas ball.
That was not a good shot. In fact, that was a bad shot, Rick. Even if I don't care how good you are.
I agree.
When you got to shoot that kind of shot for 3 points.
2:07 remaining. New 24 seconds on the shot clock. Dallas with a chance to regain the lead. Inside of 2. Aguirre takes with Barkley to school. Barkley quickly to Irving. Bad pass. Ellis takes it away. Dallas with the lead with 1 by 1:45 to play in the ball game.
Good idea, bad execution. And I'm not so sure it was a good idea even.
Aguirre. Dale Freak with a big rebound. Doctor waits for things to get set, finds the man he needs inside, and the lead changes back to Philadelphia's favor by 1 now. Our 4th lead change of the game.
And foul on Charles Barkley. He's too big to steal.
And that's not a smart play.
No. When you're that big, if you steal, they're going to catch you.
No need for the heroic play. Watch it again. Charles comes in and tries to go for the steal. Obvious hit against Davis. You see Ed Middleton to the left of your screen making the call. And, of course, Ed Middleton is always watching Charles, at least for this game. 1:23 remaining. Brad Davis with a chance to tie it right now. Our 3rd tie of the ball game. And this could be our 4th lead change. Dallas by 1. Davis. Timeout. 1:23 to play.
Fantastic. Hi, I'm Dr. J. If you like the NBA game uniforms you see on TV, you need a copy of the 1986 official NBA catalog. It's bigger and better than ever. There's great stuff inside, like team jackets from Starter and pro caps from Sports Specialties. And everything in the NBA catalog comes in all 23 team colors. How do you get your own catalog? Easy. Just send $1 to NBA Catalog, P.O. Box 800-800, Seattle, Washington, 98108. You can get T-shirts, shorts, even a Spalding game ball. So remember, send $1 to NBA Catalog, P.O. Box 800-800, Seattle, Washington 98108. Your dollar will be credited to your first order. Send for your catalog today, and remember, you don't have to be a tall guy to wear what the pros wear.
Rick Barry with Bill Russell, 1:23 remaining. The Sixers trailing by 1. And a reminder, you can continue to see outstanding NBA action here on the Superstation next week. On Monday, the Knicks at Milwaukee. Skip and John will bring you all the action of that game, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Friday, Bill and I will be bringing you the exciting Atlanta Hawks against the Chicago Bulls, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time on that one as well. But we have got an outstanding game here this evening. And for some reason, in this building over the last 4 seasons, it has been exciting NBA basketball. And Bill, how's the crystal ball looking right now? Who do you think is going to pull this one out?
This is a tough one, Rick.
Look at the free throws there. Difference. 25 points on the line for Dallas. But go ahead. Your crystal ball is a little cloudy right now. You're going to wait.
Real cloudy. Right. Because both teams are executing very well now. Brad Davis is doing a good job for the Dallas Mavericks right now. Bringing the ball up and keeping it in play, getting the good shots off. And Maurice Cheeks is doing his usual job.
Julius can't get it. Bobby Jones, big offensive rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line. And Philadelphia has really dominated on those offensive boards. That has really helped keep them in the ball game. A very concerned Dick Modern, Bobby Weiss's assistant, looking on. First foul against Davis. Of course, they're trying to break that 5-game losing streak they have, all coming against teams that are over 500. That keeps them happy here at Reunion Arena as Rolando Blackman reports back in for Dallas. That's going to send Dale Ellis back to the bench.
Hey, Rick, fans can be happy they can be fed, but they never think.
Of course, Ellis hit that big three-pointer to help his Maverick cause, and Bobby Jones ties it with 1:09 remaining.
And this is the same way they left home, all even.
Well, who can play the best for the last minute will determine the victor. Cheeks got hit in the face by Blackman. 10 on the shot clock. Davis to Aguirre. Dallas by 2. Aguirre with 34 points in the game.
And Cheeks got busted pretty good. Looked like he might have a headache.
Game clock, top of your screen. Barkley, foul. He'll go to the line. Foul will be against Vincent. And I'll tell you what, though, Charles Barkley is not exactly the man you would want to be shooting free throws going down the stretch. He's not exactly the most proficient free throw shooter on the Philadelphia team. We'll see how he comes through now. He's taken 3 in the game, Bill, and he's only 1 for 3. Shows me a little class right there, though, I'll tell you that. Way to go, Charles. Nothing but net. That should make the second one a bit easier. Can he tie it? What do you think, Bill? Way to wait, Phil. Nice going. Timeout. Dallas, 39 seconds remaining. We are tied at 118. Okay, Bill, you've got the basketball. Dick Motta is going to be talking to his team. What will you come up with?
Well, you want to get a good shot, before the 24 seconds down, so that you make, even if you miss, you get the ball back for another shot.
So you get 2 to 1.
Right. And so what you want to do is maybe run a play that produces a shot right away, but only if it's a good shot. Only if the play works and you get something wide open. If not, then you take your time. But you'd like to get it off. You got plenty of time to get it off before 24 seconds. So you try to get a good shot and then really play a hard defense. Now what the Sixers want to do is make them have to work first of all. Because the longer they have to work to get the shot, the better chance they have of missing it if you keep the defense.
All right, well, we'll see how both of these teams execute. I want to remind you right now, though, you can subscribe today to the newest and most comprehensive sports magazine that's available. And your first issue will include features on the Braves' new general manager, Bobby Cox. Plus, you'll be able to read about Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, and the NBA's new king of dunk, Spud Webb, the 7.5 wonder of the world, as Mark Goldsmith, our director, said. You can subscribe by sending $11.95 for the next 12 monthly issues to Super Sports News, Post Office Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia 30312. Super Sports News, Post Office Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia 30312. And the sellout crowd cheered on by Bill Wennington waving the towel a la ML Carr, trying to cheer their Mavericks on to a victory and break that 5-game losing streak. And they have 39 seconds in which to hold on to get the lead back as we're tied.
Now, what the Sixers better make sure of is to make them work hard to get a shot, but whatever you don't let them get the offensive rebound.
And that's an area certainly that Dallas has got to be concerned with when they have to go down and play defense on the other end, because Philadelphia has been dominating in that area. And they go for the quick shot. Again, Blackman gets it back, and he'll go to the free throw line. And you just what you said, Bill. Don't let him get the offensive rebound. As Matt Gukas is upset in front of his bench. There's the move on the baseline. Good defense by Julius, and the ball is knocked alive back into the hands of Blackman, who gets the second opportunity and goes to the line. And a happy Mark Aguirre.
Now, what Matt Gukas might do is call timeouts and try to get a good shot within 10 seconds so they can get the last shot.
He signaled that he wants a timeout after the second free throw. Sam Perkins trying to come back in.
And they're putting Sam Perkins in because he's one of the better defensive players, maybe the best defensive player on the team.
Blackman gives the Mavericks a 2-point lead. He's 11 for 12 from the free throw line. He has 29 points. And now, what will the strategy be for Matt Gukas?
Well, probably a two-man game with Barkley and Moses, and look for Cheeks on the weak side.
Between who and Moses?
Barkley.
Barkley and Moses.
You see, Barkley can make the outside shot, so they have to play him honest. So then he can get the pass into Moses and cut off and go to the offensive board. Or they can set that up and try to get Maurice Cheeks on the weak side, because he's a good shooter at this time of the game.
One of the many enthusiastic fans here at Reunion Arena, and boy, what a cutie she is. Okay, now you're Dick Motta. What do you tell your ball club defensively?
Make them work to get the shot, and don't let them do what they did to us, what we just did to them. Don't let them get the offense. you see how that? You see how that hurt when they play good defense and let us get the offensive board. Don't let them do that to us.
Okay.
Make him pay.
That was a grown-up version of the little one you just saw previously.
I was trying to pretend I wasn't looking, Rick. How's that?
They play to 99.2% of capacity here at Reunion Arena. And one of the reasons is that this team plays exciting basketball, as evidenced by the game tonight. Chance to break that 5-game losing streak that they're on. Go 2 games over 500 and stay in third place in the Central Division, or the Midwest Division of the Western Conference. That tells the story. 34 seconds to play. Dallas by 2. And it's been Rolando Blackman and Mark Aguirre who have carried the burden for Dallas, and it has been Moses Malone and Charles Barkley doing yeoman duty for the 76ers.
And they got Sam Perkins
into those long arms defense. It's a kick by Blackman, a new 24 seconds, and that means there's 6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So Dallas will get the ball back for sure, provided there are no offensive rebounds. They isolate Malone. He makes the quick move, and he makes the big basket to tie it with 24 seconds remaining, our 6th tie of the game. Dallas now to play for the last shot.
Right, because if they wait till the last second, if they miss, they get a tie.
And the crowd on their feet. That's Davis against Cheeks. Aguirre, three-pointer. What a bad shot. Moses gets it. Barkley called a timeout before he threw it down the court. Moses did, and it was called by Philadelphia. There should be 2 seconds on the clock, which there will be put back up now. And 85 feet to traverse here and try and get a shot off.
Now, if they have another timeout,
and we should have another overtime game unless there's a major foul up on the part of the Dallas Mavericks. Julius will get the last try off from just beyond half court. He got it! A three-pointer! Julius Erving has won the game!
Do you believe that?
From 48 feet away, Julius Erving has just done to the Mavericks what Magic Johnson did to them on Sunday, except they went to overtime, but this was for the victory, and a stunned sellout crowd here at Reunion Arena sees the Dallas Mavericks go down to their 6th consecutive defeat. Bill and I will be back with some final comments and our player of the game in just a moment. What an outstanding finish.